I'd like to go and see those major parties consider what would like the roll of the dice if they were in different people's shoes. Here's a little example where we've got the lowest number 1 dominating the blues, or the highest blue dominating the reds, similar numbers. This would be a hung parliament, this would be anything. But if we change the faces on those dice and say, okay, 6 choices here. Where were you born? What were your parents like? What was your suburb? What's your education? What's around you? What disability do you have? What supports do you have? Now, if you roll those dice and all of a sudden a wealthy person finds himself that they've grown up in a poor family, systemic unemployment, they've got drug abuse, they've got a corroding neighbourhood, they've got no supports around, they can't get an education, what's their life looking like? What are their choices? What if that had happened for our leaders? Any of those policies for NDIS, people in aged care, lots and lots of things. If the dice had rolled differently for them, they'd have a different focus on what the priorities are. The next little thing I'm going to do here for a prop today is look at the policies themselves. So that's me, that's happy little David wants to get into this Senate and wants to start making things better, wants to say, okay, I'll be the conductor of the orchestra. I'm going to see what the policy is like when they pass them up from the lower house, from the Greens and from the Liberals and Labor. We'll see what they can do. So here's my little game today. I think you know what's going to happen here. Anyone who's got kids knows how this works. So here's the first one. What's their policy like? Doesn't bounce. You know it goes on, don't you? I can go and say what's going to happen with the Liberals. Flat out again. Labor, flat out again. And happy old me, I reckon some of the things I've got bounced, they can take off. Now, my whole process here to get on this system is I've got to do it with the least amount of money, and I've got to get the most reach. I've got to appeal to 5.25 million people across all Victoria to get me in. So my how to vote card really is this. It's going to be in all your local papers, all the free papers, none of the Murdoch press. So it shows you how to vote for me. It's going to give you who's on my team, the 18 best ways to go and improve your life almost instantly. Unlike everybody else, I've got all the languages that are in my community there. 30% of all the people in Geelong were born overseas, and so often we ignore them. We might go and put a bit of stash cash into one particular social club somewhere, quietly on the side, and get their supports, or the leader's support. But you really got to take the whole population with you. So for people that are in these key language range here, whether you want Persian, whether you want Vietnamese, whether you want Mandarin, whether you want Croatian, they're all there on my page. They're all there on the side of my van as I go around. They're all going to be in the media. Now these are things that are going to be at the polling booths to help people get along. The next part of that is, on the flip side of that, the polling booths is, this is what the white paper is going to look like, an abridged version, because when you've got 80 people on that list and 26 parties, it's a bit ridiculous. So I'm saying that I'm the last chance to fix that mess. And again, there's not going to be paper flyers and rubbish rolling around the place. If people go there and click on the QR code, it's going to go straight to their phone, and as they walk into their voting, there's your clue on how to get it in. Now, if we do get that support from people to say, we want to have a massive change here in Geelong and beyond, I'm saying that if I can pick up a phenomenal amount of support from all Victoria to say, we don't like any of these parties, we don't like the majors, we don't like the minors, we don't like the things they're offering, because it's all slippery words, not totally truthful, they're all corrupt, they're all doing terrible things to us. If we want to go and make a systemic change, give a massive vote to me. As ridiculous as it sounds. Okay? Because then I can go back to people and say, it's not that you're voting for me. You are voting for the change. You are voting to say, what's been offered to us in the past is rubbish, and we all deserve better. That's what I'm saying. Trying to get this focus, because it's just a one-man band here. And it's all simple things too. It's like we keep having Prime Ministers keep talking about their favourite rugby team. Go the Rabbitohs. Go the whatever. You know, I'm a Cats person here. When I started kicking a football around here, you never had any colours in Geelong other than the blue and white and the hoops, but we've become gradual. It's like a migration from interstate, international and different cultures. We've allowed people from the West Coast to wear their Guernseys over here. It's taken us a while, but we're still there. So please, you know, we've all got our teams, we've all got our supporters, we all get our support from our own little broad church. I want to see if I can get your support voting for me. Go for whoever you want on the green tickets. Go and make those choices that are strategic for you in your own zone if you think it's going to make a change. But when it comes to the white paper down below, please send Canberra a massive message. Please let them know that here's your way to go and put in a very strong push to them to say, we're sick of all the stuff that's going on in those seats around us and the way Canberra's handling our lives and giving us nothing. Here's a guy who's going to say he's going to do something differently. If I finish up with a huge percentage vote, because everybody gets that chance to do it on the white paper, go below the line, choose 1 to 12, ticking my box first, and any other 11 you want. You can go put the other 11 right exactly in your party that you want, but please give me the 1, because that'll go and give Canberra that massive number that says, heck, the population here really is agitated by what we're doing. We've got to change things, because this peanut here wants to get in and he wants to deal with that corruption. I've got fantastic examples from going through this process now of how to go and actually get into the election and vote on all the systemic things that are in there that disadvantage the individual, that gives advantage to the party. Even if the party are Darren Hinch with 2 people, the money they get to come up there with their ideas. With all those, there's 26 on that white paper. Go on to something like reddit.com, reddit.com, look at their analysis of those parties, what's behind them, and see just how scary their initiatives are, what they want to do. They're on one particular thing. They want more guns in the community, they want more drugs in the community, they want to, just look at it on Reddit, don't take my opinion on it, but when you analyse those people, what choice do you have? If you've got time for the research, do it, and you'll come straight back to me. If you haven't got time for the research, vote for whoever you want on the green papers, and when it comes to the white paper, go down the bottom there, bottom right, tick 1 in David Dillon, and put your other 11 votes wherever you choose, because then you're hedging your bets both ways, and we're going to send the most massive message to Canberra that it's not good enough. Big deep breath here. Conceptually, and I'm just playing games here because I wear so many hats, but conceptually it is possible that somebody like me in this election could actually be your next Prime Minister. Isn't that incredible? I don't have to be in a party to be Prime Minister. Once you get me to Canberra, anybody from the upper or lower, within certain conditions, can be your Prime Minister. It doesn't mean that I push my policies all the way through and down people's throats. It means that when others come forward with their ideas and things, I get a chance to go and say, hey, it's a bit rough here, fellas. Let's polish it up. Let's put it with the gems in the wash machine and a bit of grit and turn it around for a couple of cycles, and let's get something out that's more polished, better for us all, more valuable. It's cost nothing to do. And that's what I'm asking you. Send the message, and if the message comes through that, pick a number, I only need to get 1/26 of the party votes to get me in. But imagine if I finish up with 10/26, 25/26, by people simply putting 1 on that white paper against my name and spreading the rest of their 11 back to their own party preferences. That's going to be a phenomenal message to Canberra. It's going to say, let's change this democratic system. And I'm the person, when you look at my website and the things that I'm loading up in the next under 2 weeks now, to demonstrate how we can fix things. And speaking of fixing things, fortunately, the garbage man's here to pick up the rubbish that's been dumped here by the kids that have been on their nangs and things last night, sniffing a few things out of ice cream containers and whatnot, balloons and crap everywhere. That's another issue, but you'll find that further down on my priorities. Thank you for your time. Love you all. Bye.